Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm the executive producer here, John Bates, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I'd like to thank our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee, without whom we wouldn't be able to do much, especially not all the content that we put forward now. I also want to thank all the people that have joined on with us since the, I would say, successful experiment that was Midsummer Night's Dream. If you're interested in that, go check out our YouTube channel, where youtube.com/Sensaku, where we performed the world's first, as far as we're aware, live stream production of a community theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That sounds like a lot of qualifiers. It's more just because that's the way I talk. Please go enjoy them and give us feedback. Let us know if you'd like to see more of that in the future. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. You can also follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films, or follow me personally at John A. Bates for all future updates and live notifications for our live stream. In the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy.
Hey, we're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another introduction of Changeling the Lost for Final Show Films.
I hope
I'm
you
Jack.
enjoyed the goodbye screen.
I'm Jack. I'll be your storyteller for this evening's chapter of In Grovor Green. And to introduce you to our cast of characters, we are going to start with Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Liz, the Wizened Oracle.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Phage, the Ogre Gristle Grinder.
Raphael.
Hi, I'm Raphael, and I'm back, and I'm playing Neofly, the Darkling Nightsinger.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I again failed to get someone to say something really weird as we were coming online. And I am playing Mira, the fairest Kairugan playmate.
And Jeremy. Yes, no, you got that pretty much right.
You got that right. I'm Jeremy. I was unfortunately not able to get comments about angels and incest live on screen because we had an intro video to do. I am playing Adele Elizabeth Hamilton, the Darkling Gravewife.
And last time we were in Baltimore, the Motley, having executed Nero's erstwhile fetch, spent their time trying to patch up themselves and the crime scene with varying levels of success, due to the fortunate presence of a police scanner in the fetch's house, which makes sense given that he was a detective. They were also able to keep tabs on the response time and get out of there before BPD showed up.
That was some really slow response time, by the way. Shots have been fired in a good 10 minutes passed by before people started.
Yes, well, it's World of Darkness, and people are a little more used to random gunfire. But once they left the scene, there was some very good medical triage done once they arrived back at Adele's house, which was lucky because Motley also had a scheduled meeting both with the Queen of the Keyhole, Gilly, who they spoke to, briefed on the fact that the fetch was handled, at least largely speaking, and then began preparing the night gallery for an official assembly of the Autumn Court, which they'd been informed was definitely on the schedule. We left with the opening statements to the Autumn Conclave, where Gilly announced to the Autumn Court as a whole that there are 3 changelings currently missing, with no news of their whereabouts in Baltimore. One of the Spring Court, one of the Winter Court, and Nero Phyrus himself, a member of this motley and belonging to the Summer Court. And as we begin to shift our camera lens back to that, we are first going to pause over at the crack house, where Neofly is keeping an eye on his former Durance mate and associate Butterfly, recently rescued from slavery in the Goblin Market, and who is messing about the house, figuring out what things do what, given that she has been back on the real side of the hedge for pushing maybe 48 hours at this point. And she presses a button on a laptop that's been left out, Nero's laptop. And Neofly, you hear a voice come across the speakers. DJ Utzel message repeats. We are hunted by we know not what. Exercise caution, supply well, harvest discreetly. Trust none outside the keyhole. Protect yourself with contract and with pledge. Updates available on your next transmission. DJ Utzel message repeats. We are hunted by we know not what. Exercise caution, supply well, harvest discreetly. Trust none outside the keyhole, and fear now the words of our queen. If you prey upon her subjects, she will wreak a heavy vengeance and ensure that an eternal curse fall on you.
During the second time he repeats that, I wanted to take out my phone and start recording that message.
Okay. And over at the night gallery, silence greets Gilly's statements. Glancing around the room, you can see tension evident in even the most fear-accustomed of faces. Barnaby's fists clenched tightly from where he's seated next to Lark, and even John Coffin's normally unflappable demeanor is significantly discomfited. Anybody present in the room can make a wits and composure roll if they're trying to figure out what everybody's response looks like.
Yep.
Sure.
By the way, as soon as I finish recording it, I'm just going to send the voice log to the group chat.
Okay. With 2 successes, both of you notice that only Will Starkers seems to really take the news in stride. His eyes kind of hold a hard look of determination as he takes a sip of beer from the can that's in his hand. He grabbed it from somewhere, apparently. He sets it down with a faint clink, and Gilly straightens, her posture shifting from almost apologetic to her usual, more regal height. We will find our people and return them, if at all possible. All present will look to your motleys. Don't let intercourt rivalries get in your way. We know this type of fear very well, and we will face it armed with every secret we possess. Scour any sources you have for clues. The Witch and the Scrivener will collect and parse the information that is gathered, report any significant findings you have to them. You guys can make me intelligence and politics roll if you're in the room as well.
Ooh, the witches, but... Zero successes.
4.
Okay. Adele, these are terms that you've heard before. You've been a member of the Autumn Court longer, and you have a tendency to research things that are of interest and importance to you. The Witch, or the Witch of the Bitter Wind, more specifically, is generally the occult expert of the Autumn Court. In this case, you know that Will fills that role. Anybody's guess would be that whatever library he keeps for himself is filled with a number of terrifying, powerful, horrific, any number of those descriptors would probably apply to the sort of secrets and knowledge of incantation that he possesses. The Scrivener is the record keeper, the scribe. The current Lord Scrivener is a changeling who's seated just a few spots down from you currently. His name's Tag. He has a very darkling aspect to him. High cheekbones, narrow, pale face. Looks almost a bit like Morpheus from the Sandman, from Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Slightly tamer hair. Usually has at least a couple books on him. Always writing things down, but he's the one who has just records and records and records. He generally wears spectacles. He actually has like functional looking eyeballs, but all of that just has this very sort of paranormal librarian kind of feel to him. And he's currently just not looking down at where his hand is, but you can see it just tracing line after line after line into this fairly thick leather-bound notebook that he currently is holding. Now, Gilly continues. If anyone has anything that needs to be said to all, the floor is open. Otherwise, well, speak amongst yourselves, collate your resources, and choose your next steps carefully. We are all in this together.
He's not dead. We're gonna find them. There was a key on our door. There's been keys.
Will kind of shoots you a narrow glance, Liz, and Gilly turns her attention your direction. What do these keys signify?
We don't know.
Broken keys. 2 of them on the door. Is there like a chalkboard, whiteboard, anything in this room?
Not particularly. You could probably scrounge up some paper and a pen if you needed to.
Okay, I go searching for that in my bag, maybe. Or
okay,
yeah,
sure.
Around. Key, 2 keys, keyhold. One happened after the shooting. Other one was can't remember. Yeah.
Much earlier.
And we found notes in tree and in...
That's not relevant. And I shoot Liz a shut the fuck up about that look.
And you have searched the omens to determine what these keys signify, or...
No, we have not. We were waylaid by the situation regarding Nero's fetch. Which obviously took higher priority at that point. At that point, the keys were just symbols that could have been anything. The person that was obviously in a position of authority who had cause to be potential threat to the entire keyhold was the higher concern.
Give me a presence and expression, okay. Adele. And you can put your autumn mantle into this as well if you want.
Okay. So +3. 4 successes.
There's a very faint murmur, and currently, there's maybe about there's less than 20 people in the room, but most of those present seem fairly satisfied with your answer to the situation. Gilly nods.
That situation now being resolved, this is where we were turning our... Because it reflects directly off of it, with Nero now being missing.
Of course. Well, if you find that those symbols are significant or can track them down to their origin and they seem to lead anywhere, we'll add that to the library.
Wonderful.
She glances around the room. Will kind of rolls a shoulder, reaches inside his very tattered clothes that he's always wearing, and pulls out his phone, starts texting something, looks around. Everybody's got my number, right?
No.
I believe so.
Kind of makes a gesture towards Liz of grab it from Adele, then.
Yes.
Snaps it shut. Mm-hmm. Tag kind of sits up. For a wizened, he's kind of surprisingly tall. Most wisens have a fairly diminutive stature, or at least somewhat reduced from what you'd expect from your normal sort of personage. He's definitely about as big around as a coffee stirrer, but he's tall, oddly so. And says, I will be keeping to my location on Lyndale Avenue, across from the churches. So if anyone needs to report, and then he sort of pulls a little stack of business cards. I'll leave these here. Email works just as well as in person.
Of course. Very well.
Well then, if no one has anything immediately relevant to report or notify us all of, we'll let you to your own homes and be careful.
Of course.
And everybody sort of just stands up and starts milling about a little bit. Despite the sort of dismissal, most of them seem marginally reluctant to just dip out. They're either standing around, most of them are either writing something down or having a quiet conversation with somebody that they go out of their way to interact with. Mm-hmm. You guys have the entire Autumn Court here in this room, all, 18 of you guys. So if you need to talk to anybody or look
really
at any
quick,
look up anybody.
Adele, when she writes, is going to sort of put a hand on Liz's shoulder, like, a moment.
I have
Just
to talk to. Okay.
And Liz, looking around, you can see that nobody's really left the room yet.
Okay.
Find a quiet corner of the room. I apologize. The note situation is specifically in relation to Kalanag and his murder, which we believe to possibly be potentially an inside job.
Same person. Might be the same person.
It might be. But if that's the case, then these disappearances could be an inside job. And the worst thing we could possibly do, absolute worst thing we could possibly do, is let them know that we know this.
I already told Sunset Blue, though.
Nah. We it is what it is. One person probably fine. Obviously, Gilly must know.
I need a phone. I have Lark's phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I need my own phone.
We will get you your own phone.
Okay.
That just requires visiting a store tomorrow. But yes, that situation we need to keep clear of this conversation for now until we determine, since it's been tasked specifically to us, whether it is related to this or not. Because if the person happened to be in this room and it's not inconceivable, then they would be aware of all the information that we have and could cover their tracks or potentially turn their attentions to us in a rather unwholesome way.
Who's that? I'm looking.
You glance behind you. Mr. Glare is standing about 2 feet away.
Oh my god.
With Nero missing,
Hmm?
someone will need to head security here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
will-
wasn't sure if you had...
No, we have not thought about that because we literally just realized that he was missing about an hour and a half ago.
What?
Right. Okay.
Missing,
Well,
as opposed to on his own.
well, you have my info if you need anything. And I'll wait to hear from you.
Very well.
I have to go talk to someone. Bye. Leave Adele.
Is there... When they set up the room, did they put a bar in? Did they establish a wet bar?
No.
No, the bar's downstairs.
Bar is downstairs.
That doesn't mean that they didn't set up some drinks in here.
Oh yeah, no, there's refreshments in here. It's, you know, they've got a couple, like they've got some Coke, a couple of beers out, that sort of thing. Nothing, no hard liquor in the room
I'm
currently.
going downstairs.
You want
Okay.
something strong, you gotta go find Paige.
Against my better
actually,
judgment, I'm leaving
I
Liz
said that
alone.
Phage was down in the bar, but actually wasn't Phage headed to the roof?
Oh, yes, she was, actually.
Mm-hmm. So that's where we'll pivot real quick. Phage, you head up to the roof while this meeting is taking place.
Yep.
You'd been up there earlier this evening. Drummond wasn't around, but there was still a bit of light in the sky at that point. Things have gotten a good bit darker now. There's still just a faint glow on the western horizon, but it's almost probably about 20 minutes past true sunset. And you just kind of bang the trap door open and clamber out.
You know, I don't smoke, but if there was ever a time where you'd be tempted to pick up the habit.
Yeah, it's a shitty habit. I wouldn't do it.
Oh, Drummond.
Yeah?
Turn and look at the Raven.
How's kicks?
Everything's going to shite, is how it's going.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
You'll probably pick it up if you keep paying attention to the changelings over the course of the next couple of days. But
Oh, your lot is jumpy as hell these days.
good reasons. People going missing, murders, don't know who, what, when.
You need help with that?
You've got eyes in the sky literally everywhere. I don't, you know.
Fuck yes, I do.
Yes, we need help.
All right, what are we looking for? He ducks his head out of sight behind one of the chimney pots and comes back, and you see him kind of toss a French fry back and just kind of bolt it down.
I only know of 2 of the changelings that are missing.
Yeah.
And one of them was, what was her name?
Tessa Dancing,
Tessa Dancing.
who was one of the walkabouts.
I know that there are 3 missing, but I don't know who the third is because she just said that that would make the third when we mentioned Nero.
Yes.
There's 3 changelings that are missing right now. I only know 2 of them: Tessa Dancing and Nero.
Huh. Okay. What's Tessa look like?
I sort of describe Tessa because
Okay.
we've interacted.
Yeah.
with her.
You've interacted with her before. She's very dark complected, has hair that's generally bleeds down into kind of a purple ombre. And there's something very... She's obviously a fairist, but there's something very fire-esque about her. And Drummond kind of nods. All right. Any idea whereabouts she was last seen?
Supposedly she was walking to go and meet us at Adele's place before she disappeared. Somewhere along that route.
Actually, Phage, what you were told is that she was going to the crack house specifically, because that's where they know to meet you.
That was so she was walking towards the crack house where we stay when she disappeared. So somewhere along that route.
Okay. So your fire person and somebody else's fire person are missing.
Yeah.
Wait, shite. Third person missing. That was recent. I pull out my phone and I call Neofly.
Okay. So Neofly, you've recorded this message. You send it to the group chat, and about 5-10 minutes later, your phone rings. It's Phage.
Pick it up. Phage.
Neo, where are you at?
At the crack house.
Check the front door for me.
Will do. I start having my gun prepared just in case I go to check the front door.
Okay. You head out front. The same burn scar is still there. 2 broken keys, and kind of an arch. Mm-hmm. Same one that shows up in the objects subfolder in the handouts section on the journal.
Okay. All I see are 2 broken keys and an arch.
Okay, not a third one?
Nope.
Good. Okay, that's at least one connection that isn't there that I was about to be terrified was.
Well, the night's still young, so...
Yeah, there's a lot still left to scare us. Just keep an eye out. This is going to get out anyway at some point. Nero's missing.
What?
Like missing.
Neo kind of just stays silent for a bit. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that was what that message was about.
Yeah. We need everything focused, eyes on, keep an eye out for anything weird.
There's a lot of things.
Which is when you hear glass break somewhere in the house with you, Neofly.
Phage, something came up. I'm gonna have to call you back.
Go for it.
I just close it. I close the phone and I pull out my gun. I just yell out, "Butterfly!"
In here.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
I try to see if I can.
Your bells are broken. Her voice is coming from the kitchen.
Okay, I head to the kitchen.
She's standing on the table. Mm-hmm. She's got one glass in her hand and the second one looking down at the floor where there's another one just broken on the floor.
Oh, God. Okay. Please be careful with that, Butterfly, as I put the gun back.
They don't ring well, and she holds out the other one to drop it.
I go to
dexterity and athletics. -1 because you're dodging an already broken glass on the floor.
Got it. You said dex and athletics?
Yep.
All right. One success.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to get a hand out and like catch this one. She kind of pouts at you.
No, don't do that. We need these. And
Okay.
goes to put it in the sink and looks for a broom.
She hops down, very much barefoot.
Okay. Be careful with the floor. Those things hurt.
She sort of steps around as you warn her off. You grab a broom and you can start sweeping it up. And as you do so, you put it in the trash can. You can hear her now out closer in the living room, apparently talking.
I go up to see where or what she's talking with, or with what.
So the way the living room is set up is that it's got windows on the front that are pretty much all boarded up because you guys haven't replaced those, and it has a couple on the side facing out into sort of like the little vacant lot there at the end of the row house line. She's kind of crouched down. The window is shut all the way, and she's talking quietly to apparently somebody who's not there. You hear her, "Oh no, it's fairly nice in here."
I pull my gun out and I try to see if I can hear another voice.
Give me a wits and composure.
She's talking to the ghost, maybe.
I'm not sure if Neo knows about the ghost baby. He doesn't really fuck with ghosts.
just regular ghosts. I think it was ghost maybe.
Yeah, it was maybe. It was maybe. It was the word maybe.
Oh, okay.
You listen. You don't hear a response, and then she says, "Oh no, that entrance is upstairs. I can show you if you want. I can't open it, but."
Butterfly, who are you talking to?
Shh. This is private. No. It'll be fine. Nobody's gonna mind. Here. And she holds out her hand. And you see her apparently clasp something in the air.
Okay.
And kind of swing it a little bit, like she's holding hands with somebody. And she turns and starts walking upstairs.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay. You keep a couple steps behind her, which she doesn't seem to mind. And then she stops right there in front of the closet. That's the entrance to your guys' hollow.
Okay.
You know, as far as you're aware, she hasn't been inside. And she just sort of taps the door twice. Yeah, no. Can't you smell it?
I try to see if
Looks down at her hand. Well, no, it's locked. That's what keys are for. I've learned about keys in the last couple days.
It's Neo Flash is very attentive to the conversation to see where this goes.
Well, maybe if you ask nicely, but I don't want to go on that side of things because it's not nice and they put you in boxes. No, up this way. And she heads up to the third floor.
We'll continue to follow.
Okay. She walks through.
As she's walking, I quickly grab my phone and just send a message out. What should I say? I'll actually send it to Adele, not to the group chat. Butterfly is apparently having conversations with ghosts and trying to show them around the house. Tried to enter the hollow, but Butterfly was too scared to enter and also doesn't know how. Just a heads up in case anything weird happens when you come back. And send that to Adele.
Okay.
As I'm pouring myself just straight alcohol. Just
It's just rubbing alcohol.
This motley is going to turn her into an alcoholic, I swear to God.
You say that like she wasn't.
She wasn't.
Doubly impressive
She's a
for
chain
someone whose
smoker.
liver is presumably already fucked up to some extent, given you're a corpse.
Yeah, right. So she's just like sets bottle down. Doesn't even go to take the drink and like, ghosts don't work that way.
At which point, Neofly, you follow Butterfly up to the 3rd floor of the
Oh.
house.
By the way, my gun is still out. I'm just
No worries. And she walks straight into the very back room, which is the one that's still missing part of the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is probably my favorite because it's built properly and you can see the stars. And so, yeah, this is, you can come visit me here anytime you like.
Okay.
Okay. Well, as they say. And she gives some weird sort of insect-like trill.
Uh-huh.
And then she turns around. You should have been more polite. And then she loops her elbow into your arm, the same one that you have, or that you're holding the gun in. And it's like, I'm hungry.
All right. Let's see if we can find something to eat in the house. And
While Adele is impatiently doing this.
I send a message back. It's a friend of hers? Question mark, ellipses. Be safe. And I send it.
And the phone gets flipped in the air. Fate!
Liz, who are you talking to?
I wanted to go because I saw him kind of setting words and things to Will.
Okay.
This is gonna be good.
Huh.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey there.
I saw you doing the stuff before it started. Can you explain what this means and this and this? I found paper and I'm like drawing as approximately as I can what he was doing.
Give me an intelligence and crafts. Actually, no. Intelligence and occult, I would say, for this one, -1.
All right. Three successes.
Yeah, you're pretty confident in the fact that you got the design of whatever he was drawing on the walls correctly.
Mhm.
It did vanish after about 15 to 20 seconds of being visible, so you're a little shaky on some of the bits, but you're pretty sure you got at least most of them fairly correct.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks at you. How very forward. He doesn't seem to be insulted or anything. He's just kind of looking at you like, well, that's neat.
Yeah, I was just that it was cool. All right.
As far as what they mean, well, it's not like it's an alphabet. It wasn't like I was writing, eavesdroppers fuck off or something like that, although the effect is more or less what you'd hope for.
What does it mean? What does...
There are ways of looking at the various aspects and forces and entities that make up what we call the real.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them exist both in the Hedge and Arcadia as well, frequently in different forms, but the essence, the spirit of whatever it is fairly consistent throughout. And when a powerful entity makes an agreement with another entity, shall we say, in the right circumstances and under the right auspices, that agreement stays intact. And as long as those two things remain in that sort of relationship, each affects the other. When you're hungry, what do you do?
Eat.
Okay. And after you eat, do you feel better?
Yeah.
Would you like to know why?
Because you're about to digest the food?
I mean, in a sense, for some people.
But we're not some people.
We're not.
So what happens?
Well, a very long time ago, an agreement was made that as long as a thing was allowed to grow and was dealt with in a way that would help it thrive, later on it could be used to meet needs and ease pain.
Like hedge fruit.
Well, I'm talking about bread specifically, but sure. The reason that when you eat, you feel better is because an agreement was made very long time ago that if bread is allowed to grow out of the ground and be harvested and processed in a way that then when it is consumed by a living being who has a connection to the one who first made the agreement, that living being would feel better and be able to be nourished. Nobody made that agreement with rocks, so you can't really do that.
What agreements are these, then? Protection?
These are
Not hearing?
agreements with air, mostly. A couple other minor clauses worked in. And while this isn't necessarily an exact transcribing of something that was once actually written down in the way that people write things down on this side of things, it's a connection to a very old contract that a being made with the air. And since we're related to that being from the time we spent over there absorbing the nature of that place, we get to be included in it to an extent. And so when I do my end of the bargain, the air then holds up its end of the bargain and, shall we say, doesn't transmit certain vibrations, if you're looking at it super science-y, to those who are not currently included in this little iteration of the agreement.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's all contracts.
Mm-hmm.
It's all contracts all the way down. Except for, the one exception.
What one exception?
Gannis smirks a little bit and then tilts his head back and flicks his tongue across one of his eye teeth, and you can see it's black. There's a faint metallic glint to it. Clicks it together. Iron.
I had a piece of iron that
Yeah?
Nero found after the party. I don't know where it went. He had it with him. Maybe he left it. He might have left it at the house.
Well, hope he still has it with him. He might need it.
Okay. Cool, thanks. Bye. And I go away.
You hear a very faint chuckle behind you as you turn to go.
And until people leave, I'm gonna lurk around. I want to lurk in a corner and watch people. I'm trying to figure out because Liz has been figuring out that knowing who people are is good. So she's gonna try and figure out because she knows 2 of the people now who are important, but
Okay. Give me a presence and socialize.
Oh God.
Are you trying to eavesdrop at all or just watch and see?
More like eavesdropping. Liz knows she's not good at talking to people. I think she's self-aware enough for that ish. It doesn't stop her usually, but more listening in, trying to figure out what's going on, type of thing. So presence and socialize?
Yep.
All right. That's another... Is it just -2 on that? Let me see. Sorry. Okay. So I get an initial -1 because wizened.
Yep.
But... Oh wait, that's a chance roll. Sorry. Let me do that again.
Okay. It's a chance roll unless you decide to spend willpower.
Unless I just I will decide to spend willpower. This is important. Okay. So +2. Hey, 1 success.
Okay. So you're lurking and you're trying to, be very casual and look like try to put off the impression that you're here and you're willing to talk to somebody if they want to talk to you. Nobody seems particularly inclined to address you specifically. At least not at first. You do see Acacia Thorn, who is one of the people that first met you when you came out of the hedge. She's part of Gilly and Will's motley. And she's talking to a girl that you may have seen before, but you definitely don't know. Acacia's talking about how she's going to step up her patrols a little bit, look and see if there's anything weird about the local hedge, see if anything's cropped up or has been causing any disturbance or is just out of the norm. The other girl who's standing there, you can see her resting her hands on her hips. She's got 2 basically fixed blade hunting knives, it looks like, just dangling from her belt, one on each hip, that she's just kind of rubbing her thumbs across the pommels of. Well, if you find anything, that needs a lesson taught, just call me if we need to fuck something up, okay? And Acacia kind of gives her a half smile. I'm gonna try and keep things cautious, at least at first. But okay, yes, you'll be fine. We'll figure it out. If I find anything, you will at least be probably the third person I tell. Third or fourth. And the other girl kind of smirks a little bit and nods. All right. Okay, that's good. And then you feel a tap on your shoulder, Les.
Turn around. See who it is.
You definitely recognize John Coffin.
Oh, he scares me. Okay.
Yes. He's got his very long-fingered, white gloved hands kind of clasped in front of him. What's this about notes that you found in a tree?
Oh, it was for something else.
Because you seem to think it was initially related. Yes.
Yeah. I see lots of things. Sometimes they're not related. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, what was it about these notes that made you initially think they were?
I don't know. I pull out. It was just like this one. I will pull out. She doesn't know how to lie about this. She'll pull out the one that has already been seen by people not in the Motley. The 2016 letter, the one from whatever his name was.
That one of the ones that was in the tree?
The 2016 one was not the one. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to remember which one was which. That was not the one that was in the tree. That was the one that was found later. That was the one found on Kalaneg's body.
Yes, it was.
On the hedge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, this is one of the notes in question.
Yeah.
May I?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Dawn and Danger.
I see.
I saw the sun once.
A sun that spoke of danger.
No, well, it was just there. It was a lot. I got kind of weirded out, and then I didn't go back and draw at that place, but
I see. Yes, that weirding out does happen. That I absolutely understand. Interesting, though. A lot of references. Day of Reckoning? What do we think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it was. I talked to Sunset Blue about this, and she Jeremy dies.
Yes, no. I assume that's the blue referenced here in the second paragraph. Yes,
that's what I thought. And then she said she thinks this was her friend that wrote this, but he's dead now. So maybe he tried to confront whatever was. I don't think this is new.
Well, I mean, it's several years old, so I assume not.
No,
but
what's happening now, new.
You think this is? Do you?
Mm-hmm.
So your research says, at least indicates for you that this is whatever's happening now is unrelated to whatever events are being referenced in this note.
That's unrelated?
Well, I mean, if these events are new, does that mean, are you implying that they're not connected, or simply that this is a new iteration of the same sort of things that they're talking about here?
New iteration patterns.
I
Repeating.
see. No, that...
But tilted? Because it's autumn.
And for this, you mean, given that this letter is one of the months of winter, is that what you mean? I see, yes. Well.
Anyway, can I have it back?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
What did you come over for?
I was curious about your mention. Yes, no, just the reference to the note, and if you have information, well, shared information means more minds all working on the same clues. So, but yes, no, these notes I would recommend, as our queen directed, to make sure that Will and Tag know, and yes, we'll see what conclusions we can draw from this very mysterious correspondence.
What do you do besides announcing?
Logistics, organization, scheduling, that sort of thing. I'm fairly good at making sure that as few feathers are ruffled as possible. And when we're one of the more feather-ruffly groups amongst the Keyhold, I'm sure you've noticed that people are frequently uneasy around our sort of folks. So it's helpful to have some...
have that beard?
Yes, actually, he does.
Okay. Yes, perfect. He's decided to just go for it. Okay, well,
yes, I'm one of the people to talk to, especially if you have questions and that sort of thing. I'm very good at telling people what is most helpful for them to know. I'm also very good at not telling people the sort of things that our group doesn't want the other people outside to not know.
Oh. Okay.
Doesn't want them to not know. He's going to not tell them what they don't want them to not know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. Okay. Did you find anything weird?
Well, the number of weird things that I've found in this city since coming out would fill a short series of pulp novels, probably. But if you need to talk or get any information of the sort, did you get one of our Scrivener's cards?
Yeah. I
Very good. He has access to pretty much everything. If he doesn't have a record of it, then it probably didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
So yes, but yes, should you need information or make any requests that way, I'm sure he will give you whatever is in his power to declassify, I suppose.
Okay. Okay.
But as for that note, very well done.
Thank you. There's a lot. I'm gonna drift away.
Okay. Sounds good. Phage, back up on the roof.
Yep.
Armin's just kind of... He'll mention to you that he can definitely ask around. Please
keep an eye out.
He delves into a little bit of the balancing act that is talking to crows and ravens. They are definitely on the upper end of the intelligence scale as far as birds are, but they definitely look at the world differently than more sapient species do. So he can't promise that they'll be super helpful or that if they saw anything, they will be able to detail all of what you guys might consider the more relevant details. But
Of course.
he's going to ask around and see what he can find.
I appreciate that. This is going to be a hell of a week coming up.
Well,
honestly, the only way I'm making it through this is because I've got people to vent to.
Sure, I'm people.
Well, I've got people to vent to who aren't completely off their rocker.
Well, I mean, everybody to an extent, but sure.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
You
can tell Lark that I haven't done anything to Psycho Bitch Knife Lady recently. So
I appreciate that too. You know, it's just when you go after her, it gives us trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure she's gonna fuck that up shortly.
Just subtle if you're gonna make passes at her.
She is not my type.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you for that, though. That actually, I needed to laugh.
Well, I do not have the wherewithal to stay up much later after dark.
All right, I'll let you sleep. But yeah, nothing police attention, please.
Oh, God, no. Why would I fucking want to do... No. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no. All right. Have a good night. I'll catch up probably sometime next couple days. I'll have to take a couple hours at least to make the rounds and whatnot, but...
No worries. You have a good night. I'll leave you be. And she heads back down.
Okay.
So I assume I miss you then, because I was going to find you.
Well, I mean, depends.
Although, that said...
Both of you give me a wits and composure.
That said, I'm curious as to what Mira's doing, because Mira hasn't done anything yet this episode.
Mira's been asleep.
I did want to confirm, Jack, I assume that you just can't send that recording and thus Mira never received any text. Because she explicitly had her phone up, so anything would...
Yeah, so basically, yeah. If you determine that Mira's volume is up, and
I think
okay.
I said that
so yeah.
in advance.
Right, yeah. But up loud enough to wake her up even on text receipt, then yes,
Yeah.
she would have been getting all these group texts and whatnot. Anything that was sent to group or to Mira directly would have come through. So
Mira is like me when at 3 a.m. there's some discussion about wrestling in the Final Show Films chat. I'm just like, huh? Sleep. Because she is checking each of them. None of them are medical emergencies. None of them can't be dealt with in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, nothing seems super priority at the moment.
So Mira is doing that thing where you're trying to get a night's sleep, but also the texts are going off, and she will not turn that off or down.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Sorry. So what are we rolling?
Wits and composure to see which one of you spots the other one first.
That would make sense. Adele's on a rampage at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, a couple of people, like, as they're exiting the autumn court meeting, they're either going downstairs or heading out, and they were like, oh, Adele's never mind.
Strong arm.
This was actually going to head up to
Which
the
is
roof
actually the opposite of what it sounds like, because her strength is 1.
Right. It's more a personality type strong arm. So yeah, Adele is rampaging her way through the club and back upstairs. Phage, you sort of meet her coming down the hall. And you can see that this is a woman on a mission.
Adele, do you need a drink?
No, I just had one. However, grab, yank into security room.
All right. And by yank, you mean pull towards security room and Phage walks along.
As Phage continues just walking at a normal pace.
The funniest image I've had in my head.
Mira in the back of your head says, "Please don't aggravate your bullet wound over anything being unnecessary."
It's okay. I've had enough to drink now. The pain doesn't matter.
Adrenaline and alcohol now.
I'm aware. I am well aware. So where to start? Let's see. So far, actually, let's start with the big one. Apparently, Butterfly has some invisible friend who is wandering around the house and having the crack house and having conversations with her. And I am, despite what Neo may think, it's not a ghost. That's not how they work.
Do you not walk around and talk to the ghost in the house?
Yes, that's not. No, it's not how it works. Just trust me on this.
I trust you on this, but I'm quite curious as to why it can't be how that works.
There's no. Yeah. There is somebody or something in the house that apparently is talking only to the newly rescued person whose loyalty I may kind of doubt.
Are you perhaps not...
Neo admitted that he saw the potential for the doubt for, asking about places like the door to the hollow.
Have you perhaps considered that she's a bit damaged upstairs and might be conjuring people to talk with to sort through her trying to reason out and understand the world around her?
Have I considered that? Of course I have. However, we are what we are. That means that possibility is this big compared to most people. It's this
actually
big.
About this big. We're all very damaged upstairs.
So you don't see any potential problem with this?
Oh, I definitely see a potential problem. I don't know why you're screaming when there's nothing we can do right now. Take a breath.
Oh, also, you know that whole thing that Kalineg that we were working on? That,
murder?
Yes. And there's a possibility of somebody involved in the keyhole being involved. Yeah, information on that has kind of gotten out too.
It was going to eventually, but all right. What happened?
It disturbs me how calm you are about all of this.
You remember what court I'm in, right?
The court of people who don't give a fuck about things, apparently. Like anything. At all.
We're the court of people who live in the moment.
I'm aware.
And have to learn not to panic. Panic is the last thing that'll get anything done.
All right. So here's the short of it. There are 3 people missing. Person I informed you of.
Yes, I was aware of who's the third. I know Tessa and I know Nero.
Uh-huh. Blah, sorry, the name has left my head.
Oh, Dyrus Shine,
yes.
who you know is in the Winter Court. That's mostly what you know about
Winter
her.
Court member. So
that's an unsettling pattern.
Yes.
Winter, spring, summer.
Correct. Yes.
The next person missing is going to be autumn if that keeps up.
There's not enough information for patterns at this point. Probably.
I mean, you say that.
Small sample size. It does. Yeah.
It's fair, but I would still keep an extra eye out on anyone in Autumn Court going missing.
Obviously. But so while Court was discussing this, Liz mentioned the notes.
Okay. This does that, yes?
And I shut it down quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as effectively as possible among a group of people who investigate.
All right.
So yeah, those are two of the problems that we have going right now that have newly popped up. We're
Okay.
just gonna pile those on the list, on the large, garbage heap sized.
But again,
pile.
the important thing is, if you panic, you're gonna make mistakes. So breathe.
I'm not panicking.
You came in yelling at me and then tried to pull a woman 3 times your size under your own strength into the security room. You're panicking.
I'm not panicking. I'm livid and emotional, but I'm not panicking because
Those are synonyms.
If you suppress those things and act like everything is fine, bad things happen.
Oh, everything's not fine. But cooler heads prevail when it comes to solving stuff like this.
Liz, roll me a wits and investigation.
Okay.
Adele, keep going.
I legitimately don't even know what I just said.
Yes, but I said cooler heads prevail, and you'd said yes, but
yeah, I don't remember what I was about to say. Anyway.
So what do we need to do about it?
Hopefully get everybody together. Even though I know that's like pulling teeth.
There's a knock on the security room door.
I go to check who's at the door.
It's Liz and Lark.
Hi.
Liz, Lark kind of just followed you out of the room, was like, yep, so this happened. And then the two of you went looking for Phage and Adele, who you couldn't find. So by process of elimination, you're like, they must be in here because they wouldn't be in any of the other courtrooms. They're not in the back hall. They're not on the second floor. They're not on the first floor. Bang, bang, bang.
All right, come on in.
Hi.
I let them in and shut the door behind them. Well, apparently we've got it like 4 of 6 together.
That's a good, yeah. I feel like we should get back to the crack house and prevent whatever secret invisible thing is talking to Butterfly and seeking out intelligence on our home dealt with at the moment.
7. 4 out of 7. 7. 4 out of 7.
No, you're absolutely right, Liz.
All right. So is that where you guys are headed?
Yep.
Okay. And what are we doing about Mira being at Adele's house?
Sending a text. Everybody to crack house now.
Through that whole thing that happened, I probably would have sent a message just saying, please bring food.
You know what? There's probably already takeout at the house. Mira probably ordered food for everyone when they get back before going to sleep.
Like it.
Legit.
Delivered. Adele said it's okay to get food delivery, and she's also rich enough it's not a problem.
Is there just like a credit card with a hole punched through it tied to a string near the phone at Adele's house. This is the food account.
Whatever they may be, a specific computer or something that I have received. If that's not okay,
No,
cool.
it's cool.
I'll stop by.
It is only, somehow she has managed to get it only authorized for one of several takeout places. It's the only places it can be used.
Okay. So Mira has keys and a vehicle, I know, still back at Adele's place.
She will try and start a phone call to probably whoever sent the text, so Adele, when starting up the car, but she's already moving.
Okay. So Mira calls Adele as both vehicles are headed towards the crack house.
Drive. Beep. Hello, you're on speaker.
Hi, it's Mira. Who do we have on speaker with?
Myself, Paige, Liz, and Lark.
I believe Phage came on her motorcycle, so just you and Liz, I think.
Okay, whoever it would be.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying because
No,
this is
that's-
probably
I think you've got Adele, Liz, and Lark on the phone with you, Mira.
Injuries doing all right?
Oh yes, I'm shot, aren't I?
Yes. Not
is it just that it slipped your mind? I assume there's a reason we're headed towards the crack house.
Yes, there is. There was a message sent to me that apparently Butterfly is speaking with what was interpreted as a ghost, but I guarantee is almost certainly not a ghost.
What?
Asking all sorts of wonderful details about our home.
Do I need to get corpse disposal supplies as I'm headed there?
No, not yet. Also,
surprising, but all right.
Well, if we do truly need them, I am offended that you don't think I have those in my trunk.
Fair enough. I apologize.
I don't think I don't think we are at that stage necessarily yet. It is one thing to be, I mean, hell, since we're talking about this openly now, it is one thing to be duped, which I would assume if Neo thought it was a ghost, that would be more likely to be the case than to be actively working. We will see.
Yeah, Mira will. All right. I really do need to get you two back to being patched up if there's anything risky. Yeah, I'll probably arrive first. Do you want me to wait outside or head right in?
Either way, really, I suppose. You didn't happen to bring any extra. You didn't happen to bring bandages with you. I think this is seeping through.
I have an extensive amount of medical equipment.
I should mention.
I would say let someone else drive and let Liz look at your wound, but I understand your preferences regarding your car.
I will confess that I am not a very good patient. You may have noticed this.
That's all right. I just try not to roll around in the mud. I feel like this is fairly obvious and not something you would do anyway. But especially if it is seeping through, do avoid anything that might infect it.
I tried to yank on a 700-pound giant and it didn't work.
After drinking a lot.
Pull over.
I'm fine.
No.
Bliss.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for any of us to administer quality medical attention in the car. As unhygienic as the crack house tends to be, being there will at least allow us to have a stable, hygienic surface and a patient who is not in the midst of driving.
Yeah, driving
Right?
and drinking.
I'm not drinking at the moment. I already did that.
We're how many?
I'm smoking, but I'm not drinking.
Well, I'll leave
Smoking
you to
is
it.
not.
Please don't
Smoking
die
does
before
not.
you get here, especially if I'm going to have to contend and with some invisible thing that has invaded our collective home.
Fair enough. Smoking does smoking. This is like as it's hanging up. Smoking does not make gunshot wounds worse.
Not better.
But not what? Yeah,
Depends
no.
on what you're
It makes
smoking, actually.
it makes it
Sounds
much
appealing.
better because I am calmer and less likely to do something that will get us into a car accident, which would then aggravate my gunshot wound.
I'm creating
Might
new ones.
be better for not getting in an accident and making your gunshot wound worse.
I am fully capable of smoking and driving. At
So
the
yeah,
same
I'm
time.
going at like the closest to the speed limit and above that you can go without being inherently suspicious and or dangerous.
Okay, so you're given my experiences in Baltimore, you're going about 20 miles over the speed limit. Cool.
Yeah, whatever is the social norm where we are.
Yep, that yeah, that would be about right.
Sounds like a Tuesday. Sounds like a Tuesday evening drive.
And I was gonna try and call Neo if I have time.
You probably will, actually, yes, because the club is technically much closer to the crack house than than Adele's place is.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. Never
I
mind.
know. So yeah, you can call Neofly, whose phone rings as he's sort of, I suppose, waiting around with Butterfly.
Yeah, his gun's been out. His gun has been put back, and he's kind of just been still searching for food when he gets the call.
Yeah, there's a few like cheese sticks and whatnot in the house.
Got it. I just give her all of them, and
Okay.
I just go sit up by the front door. Probably when I get the call, pick up. Mira.
Hello, I'm bringing food.
Oh, bless you. Is everybody else coming down here?
Yes, won't let her know. Oh, just don't say too much. Don't really say much of anything if you can, but they've informed me of the situation.
Good. That's good.
Cheese for yes, pepperoni for no. Oh, are you injured in any way?
No. Pepperoni.
Yes! Yes!
No pepperoni. Got it.
Wait, but there's no pepperoni means no. So is that yes?
Double negatives.
Okay, the character with the wits of one clearly is not very good at.
I think it was genius.
Yes.
The thing is that as a player, and I think as the character, probably would have flown over his head. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
No, I am well aware you don't listen to me.
I'm sorry. Okay, well, let me know when you get here. I'll open the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
Click.
All right. So Adele and Phage's vehicles get there probably 3 to 4 minutes before Mira's due, and everybody is at the crack house with food. Butterfly is sort of just laying on the floor in the living room.
I'd recommend all of you get your fill of the food before I have any of it, because I will take everything that's left.
Yeah, Neofly just rushed as soon as he saw the food.
There's probably way more food than would be reasonable because Mira ordered food. And Mira's the kind of person who generally orders food like, it's not just enough food for everyone. It's enough food for everyone to have any of the options.
So you basically got 7 full 7-person meals.
Essentially, except for we have Phage, so that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I say anything that anyone doesn't eat will go to phage.
Yeah.
All right. So
Adele is just automatically when she walks in. Hold on just a second. Activating ghostly presence.
okay.
Believe I can't remember what the catch on that is, but I believe I automatically automatically. It would help that if I had written that in. But I believe I automatically qualify for some reason.
You're
yes.
The catch on thing being a darkling.
Being a grave white, I think.
Right?
Yeah, automatically qualifies, so I just have to roll.
Yeah. So you will roll presence and weird.
Yep. Presence, know it. Weird. I hate you.
Wow, look at all those fives. So yeah, you walk in and you kind of turn your head to look through into the shadow. Nope, not working right now.
All right. In that case, I will do the backup version, which is as my Kith ability, I can just spend a glamour to see the dead.
Yes, you can.
So I'll just spend a point of glamour and start scouring the house for any ghosts that I have not seen before, even though I am certain they are not here.
So you walk through, and the only one you see is your guy's normal house guest.
Walk back into the main room.
Goodbye.
Wasn't a ghost. I do pause really quick to say hello.
Hey,
Wasn't a ghost.
It's
not how they work anyways. Ghosts typically do not wander from place to place. They stick in particular places. It would be conceivable, perhaps, if somebody new had died in this vicinity. But we don't typically become ghosts, I don't believe.
Liz would have paused the door to check and make sure that there's not another key on it, because that's the clue she knows of.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, looking at the door, it still looks the same.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I mean, Butterfly did say something about it. It did leave. They did have a conversation, and it did leave. So I'm not sure if the presence can be picked up here. But
left.
Do we know who it was?
My friend. My friend is gone.
Who is your friend?
She's kind of like... She's a very large cricket.
Like the one that you had before? You had one. You had a cricket by you.
When? No, I didn't.
Oh.
Is this a friend of yours from the other side, Butterfly?
Other side of what? Other side of the rain?
From the hedge.
No. I didn't make any friends in the hedge. The hedge is full of mean people.
Is this perhaps a friend from earlier than that, or more recently?
Yes.
Which?
I didn't see any witches.
I'm gonna take a guess
because some whens and some howls. And my friends are mostly all here right now. I've made lots of friends since I came back, and you're all here.
I'm going to take a guess that because she responded on the more recently part, that was the one that would fit.
That is a good guess. When it comes to the security of our hollow, we can't guess. We have to.
I can guess. Ask me a question.
All right. I want you to guess if your giant cricket friend was interested in the door you showed them.
No, they were bored by the door. I wanted to show them the door because it was the first thing I smelled when I came inside this thing, but they asked me a couple questions, but they weren't really interested. They were just being polite.
Questions.
What questions were you asked?
Oh, the normal questions you get asked about doors.
Like?
You're dumb. The normal questions.
We don't understand things the way you do. We just need you to walk us through it.
I can't. I don't have the key. I told
step by step.
I mean, when somebody comes over to your new place, you show them all the interesting things so that they know where they are. And then if they're interested in them or if they're being polite, then they ask you how the door opens and where it goes and if you have keys. And when you don't, then you show them the other interesting things. It's like the room with the windows.
She means the roofless part of the house. That was the last place that we were at before her friends left.
Flew away into the stars.
I reiterate my question from earlier, Adele.
I'm going to look. I just want to, if it is possible, this is an organic, for lack of a better term, an organic, mundane cricket she was potentially speaking to.
Oh, okay.
Or rather, can I be certain it wasn't? Or can I be certain it was? If that makes any sense.
In terms of the information that you've got right now, go ahead and give me just intelligence and academics or science.
Oh, this isn't at all an insighty thing? Okay.
Oh, are you trying to see if she's being honest, you mean?
What she is truly saying.
Okay.
Yes, it's a form of honesty, but...
Okay, yeah. Give me a wits and empathy then. -1.
Is there anything of what she's describing? I mean, there potentially are, but is there anything that registers I could identify what she was talking to?
Give me an intelligence and occult -2.
Yeah, I have an idea. I don't know.
Mira, as you're looking at her, you're getting that same feeling that you got with your previous interactions, that she just, for whatever reason, her brain is processing things on a different level or in different ways than most of the other people in this room. She seems to take a large number of things for granted that you would say is not frequently done by most of the other individuals here. And
like lists at the nth value or
right.
At the nth value.
Pretty much, yeah, basically.
Why can't you understand how I reached this conclusion? It is obvious, but
right. Adele, Neofly, as you guys are trying to sort of parse through what she might have been talking to, there's a fairly strong theme running through a lot of occult lore, especially as changelings are exposed to it, where people can see things if they're the right people who are supposed to see them. I mean, the entire existence of changelings is based around people see one thing when what is actually real is something else, but they're not capable of seeing it with the whole mean mask dynamic. The idea of there being something that she could see that nobody else could see. I mean, granted, ghosts are a thing, but But Adele, it's really not feeling ghosty to you,
Right.
And Adele, you know that in more extreme examples, changelings can suffer from strong delusion and things bordering on dementia tendencies that they, especially immediately after exiting Arcadia or the Hedge, sometimes they recover, sometimes they do not.
Right.
Some people think that recovery is kind of not what you should even aim for, that, you know, somehow you're more in touch with how things really are if you've still managed to keep a lot of that Arcadia crazy with you on your way out. And there's all sorts of varying perspectives and philosophies regarding, in a sense, mechanically, what on your character sheet is clarity, and which end of the spectrum changelings should push towards.
I never really got an answer for this. Neo sent everyone a recording of a thing he heard. Was that something we were able to hear or no?
Yes. Yeah. You guys all got the sound recording of DJ Utzel's announcement.
I think Neo Hero vocalized my view of this quite well earlier through a message.
What do you mean?
There is a condition under which I'd be willing to see more charity, but that's not.
No, she's your friend. That was she went up into the sky stars. I'm talking to Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Does she jump or walk or fly?
She moved there.
Right.
She seems a little perplexed by the question.
Yeah.
Like you're.
I'm going off of Lys's endurance that triggered something. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Ah,
That's connected.
Butterfly. Your cricket friend. Was it like the cricket friend that you had when you were over at Adele's place?
Kind of. No. Yes. Both. Not.
Care to elaborate?
Like I said before.
Kind of. Yes. No. Both. Not.
We're all a little slow and stupid.
Looks at Neofly like, am I doing something wrong?
Kind of.
You tell
Yes.
us what was different between in the one at Adele's place and the one here.
I wasn't friends and they were smaller.
How did
That makes sense.
friends are great? I love friends. How did you make friends with the giant cricket?
Because we are. And the way she says it, it's like a very sort of, because how did you know the water was wet?
Yeah.
Because it's water, you know, kind of thing.
Mira will just
How big was your cricket friend?
Big enough.
Was it the same height as you?
Not around.
Was it shorter? Was it taller?
Not tonight.
You mean it changes sizes?
Yeah,
Everybody does.
I have
One
another
grows.
question. Did you, by any chance, see a cricket when the cricket flew away?
I did not. All I heard was butterflies end of the conversation.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, a cricket's a really easy thing to miss at night.
Well,
I trust the difference between Neo and Butterfly's vision to be a thing, a meaningful thing.
I'm going to sleep.
Go ahead.
And she gets up, walks around the back of the couch, and you hear her just kind of clump onto the floor.
as soon as that happens, I kind of turn to Adele. Is there something that she can see that we probably can't? Because of the differences in length and how long we've been
Maybe.
the hedge?
There's always, I will never put the possibility past, and this is why I am concerned that somebody who previously had power over her might be holding sway.
Stars.
It's also worth remembering that in a very fundamental way, she's not one of us.
That
So,
is very
Jacker, did someone show up behind us again? It's coughing.
No, that was me dropping something.
Oh.
Oh.
I was gonna say.
Like, wait, what?
I thought that was storyteller giving a thing, and
No, sorry. I was like, wait, what? No,
that
nothing.
is not the sounds of the
If
universe.
somebody just randomly showed up in the crack house directly behind us all, first of all, we shouldn't all be facing one direction while we talk.
That would make
Why do we all have our back to the same window?
Continuing on that conversation, well, if it was somebody that had control over her, then doesn't seem that good for myself or Lark, would it?
or
Any of us, but yes, you two and
They had
wait,
the same.
you
They had the same.
really quick. Sorry, is that motley knowledge that you two have the
Lark has expressed that publicly.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Mhm.
could not remember. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. Then yes, then you two and Peter. Sorry, William.
But I really don't think she was lying. I don't think she currently has the faculties to really be deceptive at this point. And based on her conversation, whatever she was talking to was not interested in the door to the hedge.
No.
That there are two things that I would say to that. One, we come from a place that is inherently dishonest. So it is not inconceivable that her whole demeanor is an act.
Because I didn't make the roll at the time, could I be able to ask retroactively for what Phage's read was on Butterfly based on the conversation?
Yeah. Give me a wits and empathy.
Yeah, can I do the same for Liz?
Yeah.
I have a success.
Whether or not she is act.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm sorry.
People keep interrupting me.
I was in the middle. I know. I'm sorry. I was in the middle of saying something, and now we were having retroactive rolls.
Oh,
So
yeah. That's
that
fair.
we should
You should
stop
yeah.
until that information is disseminated.
Mm-hmm.
As you you guys were watching during her report / interrogation, she seemed honest, or at least that she was recounting events as she perceived them. Alyss, you caught a faint level of evasiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you would chalk that up to deception, irritation, being tired, could have been anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a significant or extremely tangible level. It's the same level of evasiveness that you get when, you know, somebody's talking to you about something that you would really rather talk about something else. And so you're trying to just run through the conversation as quickly as you can.
Mm-hmm. This is very
whether or not it was anything beyond that, could be, might not be.
Okay.
Mira.
Mira will say, whether or not she's being honest about her demeanor, and I am personally of the opinion that at least the variance in her perception is honest, I don't necessarily think that matters. I think that whether or not she perceives them the way we do, and she is telling us the truth about what she's done, there are observable, quantifiable risks. And what? Sorry.
She said we were her friends.
And that's great. I love having friends, and I really want to be her friend, but
I can check.
Point 2. Even if this is not entirely an act, those people who could conceivably have power over those things that still could conceivably have power over could conceivably do something like this.
She may not know.
Exactly.
Dreams. I can check.
It's a good plan.
I mean, she's going to sleep now, so you've got a good opportunity.
I'll help you out.
Thanks.
I'm assuming that we're going to be going up to Butterfly, and when we do,
I'll follow your lead.
I'm going to be enacting the bomb of unwakeable slumber.
Okay.
Whenever they go there.
Well, I mean, she's literally right behind the couch right now, so you can do that whenever.
I will do that as soon as we get over there.
Okay. So
Aaron's trying to say something.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have been for the last minute.
Go ahead, Mira.
I think that's a great part of a plan, but it doesn't do to ignore warnings.
Where did the recording come from?
It came from Neo's computer.
Can I have it?
It's over there. Go ahead.
Grab that thing. Yeah. Uh-huh.
You have Neo's laptop.
Put it in the backpack that used to contain shards of a radio.
Did you fix that, by the way?
No, it's melted.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'll head over by Butterfly and
Okay.
enact the contract.
All right, let me take a look here. So
My weird and manipulation versus her power stat and resolve, and I'm assuming that since she's technically not in a bed, I would have to spend a point of glamour in order to enact it.
Yes, you will have to spend a point of glamour.
Fine.
And she will roll resolve and weird.
Okay.
Since we're doing things that'll take a while, I'm gonna try and patch up Adele's fucking you tore your non-existent stitches.
Yes, I apologize. I suppose that's probably a bad thing.
All right, you will have to beat 3 successes on your roll.
Okay. And would I be able to use willpower on this?
Yep.
Perfect.
You got this.
2 successes. Probably a 1. Yep, 2 ones. Oh, okay.
Okay. So you laid your hand down. She shifts a little bit. You try to reach out for those tenuous threads of sleep that you can sort of solidify under the right circumstances. She doesn't wake up, but you don't feel those go rigid the way you would have wanted.
Well, at least knowing her, she's a deep sleeper. Do what you need.
Okay. And I go up and put my hand on her temple, and I'm going to try and dive in and see what's going on.
Okay. Let me get her intensity set up first.
Okay. Let me find that section of my notes.
I feel like her dreams are really intense.
Yeah, probably. And I have 1 point of willpower left and no glamour. So this is good.
Oh boy.
This is gonna walk in there, end up in an interrogation, and spill all of our secrets to whatever's living in Butterfly's head.
I don't know.
I mean, everybody else is doing it. It's the cool thing these days, apparently.
All right. Her wits and resolve. Okay. It's only an intensity 1 dream.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
Not too bad.
Nope. All right. What do I roll for that? Presence and weird, right?
For entering the dream using your contract.
Yes.
Or sorry, no, you don't use your contract.
I don't use my contract.
I'm trying to direct.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not touching the dream yet. I want to see what's in there.
Okay.
So I think it's presence and weird to. Well, that's for fetches. Where's?
Okay. So in order to enter the dream, you will have to actually be asleep yourself this time.
Okay. Yep.
Which means you'll be making a meditation type roll.
Okay.
Which is on page 51. Here we go. Can tell I haven't looked at these mechanics in a little while. All right. So you'll be rolling wits and composure. Okay. Given the fact that she is already asleep and that you can establish physical contact with her, I'm going to give you a +3 to your pool.
Sweet. Okay. 5 successes.
Okay. So you lay down, you take a few minutes, just kind of relaxing and centering yourself. You reach out with your hand and just touch the back of hers, which is pretty much the most accessible, least invasive bit of bare flesh of butterflies that is close to you.
Yep.
And you let yourself drift off a bit. And you find yourself walking down what to all appearances, is a trod through the hedge. The walls of the plant life that are hemming you in are fairly close together. You can see a number of razor-sharp, jagged thorns that line the stems and branches of these plants. You instinctively kind of shy away from those, but as you walk, you begin to see blossoms, kind of like a morning glory, very trumpet bell-like blooms. Most of them kind of dangling downwards, growing off of these thorns. And every so often, what looks like an enormous drop of dew begins to emerge from one of these and just hang inside the bell. Kind of a tenuous level of surface tension. And within them, as you pass, you see various scenarios and visions playing out. And instinctively, you know that these are dreams. Mm-hmm. You just have to find the right one. These are dreams from people probably nearby. Mm-hmm. You know better than to expect the hedge to have the dreams of the people closest to you in the real be the closest ones to you right now, but they're probably marginally.
Yeah.
And it's just bloom after bloom in various rainbows of colors. Give me another wits and composure. Okay. Still with the +3.
Four successes.
As you move downwards, stepping through this path, looking from water droplet to water droplet, you're starting to be able to see into them, and there's a faint sensation in your mind as you go back past, and you're starting to be able to distinguish mortal dream, mortal dream, mortal dream. That one's not a mortal dream. Neither's that one. And suddenly you're aware of the fact that you're surrounded by hundreds of these blossoms. You begin to look up. Some of them are low to the ground, but they reach over top, and as these thorns dome overhead to create an entire passage that twists and winds, you can barely see more than 5-10 feet in front of you at most points. There's blossoms hanging overhead, some larger, some smaller. From where you're standing, probably several hundred, maybe 1,000 dreams you can see. There's at least 20, 30 that aren't mortal, and only a couple of those are changelings. There are more things out there. And for a moment you're tempted, what if I try one that's not a changeling? Give me a resolve and composure with whatever penalty you think Liz would need to focus on what she's actually supposed to be doing, given this new revelation.
She's...
Do you want to find out what a vampire dreams about?
No!
Right now.
No, you do not!
Very tempted!
I can say with a certain level of definitiveness.
Very
Although,
tempted.
I don't think a vampire would be asleep right now, because it's after sunset, isn't it?
Exactly. Very tempted, but also
Let me introduce you to something called torpor.
That's fair.
Also, I have a task, because I know that Mira's talking about kicking her out if we don't know.
Kicking her out is a bad idea.
You're gonna do something, and I don't like it. So
I really love that Liz has panicked over Mira saying she's not a member of the Keyhole, and we should keep that in mind and maybe get her to be one.
Yeah.
And Liz is like, no bad things.
Yeah, it's just very yeah. So I'll just do let's just do -1.
Okay.
Yeah. That's your successes, though. So.
Not a dramatic failure.
Nope.
But definitely not an automatic refocusing. What's Mira going to do?
All right, Liz.
Or Liz, sorry. Yeah, what's Liz going to do?
Wounds.
Probably.
I wanna look. I wanna at least. I don't. Maybe I won't touch. I won't touch it. I just wanna look at it. Just the ones that touch it.
Out of context, changeling quotes. Hashtag.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to eat it. I was just going to taste it.
I said, yeah. There's been a lot from me. Listen, this is all I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look.
Give me a wits and investigation then.
Okay. All right. Two successes.
So you step over to this blossom, pale white shot through with some orange veining. And you look, kind of crane your neck up and underneath, trying to get an idea of what you can see maybe in this droplet of dew. That's probably about the size of a golf ball.
Uh-huh.
And you can see something, some shapes flashing by. There's a little bit of movement. And then suddenly there's just this wash of red. And with two successes, you're pretty sure that was blood. And like a shit ton of blood.
Back away.
Which is when you see this droplet now heavily just suffused with this crimson tinge. And one little drop just blip off of it, fall, shining like a gem before splashing onto the leaves underneath.
Was that one? I need to look at that one. What's that one?
No, that was the one that you just saw.
Oh, okay, that one's gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's woken up or something. Okay.
Oh no, the main droplet is still there, just a little bit dripped off of it.
Do vampires dream of exsanguinated sheep?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although insanguinated sheep are not very interesting because all the blood's already gone. Give me another one of those wits and composure +3s.
Okay.
Now that you've had some of your curiosity semi-satisfied.
4 successes.
Okay. And as you sort of draw back and then kind of glance the other direction, you see one of those blossoms and part of your weird just sort of tugs you towards it. There's a resonation there.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can feel this parallel to this pale purple flower that, yeah, this one's butterflies. Whatever physical connection you still have in the real material world is somehow echoed and reflected in the weird here in whatever dream dimension aspect of the hedge you seem to be in.
All right, I will go over to that one and see if I can get in.
Okay.
On.
So it's probably about the size of a human hand. So the droplet is almost tennis ball in dimension. Seems to be sparkling, shimmering with a faint glint to it. And you cautiously just reach out and touch your fingertip.
Oh, I was going to eat it.
Oh, okay. Well, how are you going to just no-hand it? Or what?
Yeah, you just sort of like, you know how you can suck pollen out or what's it called? I can't
Nectar?
Nectar out of a honeysuckle. I'm going to do
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you reach up to it.
Yep.
And just as the tip of your tongue sort of breaks the surface tension of this huge droplet, you feel a cold wash.
Yeah.
As if you just dove into icy cold water, but you're not wet. And you're standing in a grassy field. Wide sight lines as far as you can reach, mountains far in the distance. A couple hints of trees further away, maybe a mile, maybe 2. And all around you is just this sea of wildflowers. And you look, trying to catch an eye of what's here. It's a little weird. You've written dreams before, and you sort of had a third person pulled back perspective. You're in this one.
Yeah. And I don't see butterflies.
You don't see any butterflies currently.
Okay.
You definitely don't see Butterfly the individual. Go ahead and give me a wits and survival.
Right. It's gonna be -1. Still good. 0 successes.
Okay. So you just start walking. You just kind of pick a direction at random and start walking. 5-10 minutes pass. The day is warm-ish, but there's enough breeze blowing across this wide open space that it chills you slightly as you begin to traverse this massive field that seems to be laying in, as you're looking around, what seems to be the mouth of a massive glacial valley further up that you're now walking slightly uphill towards where the tree line is.
Do I hear insects? Do I hear birds?
You hear insects. You don't hear birds.
Okay. Do I hear...
Give me a wits and composure.
Okay. Three successes.
As you stop to listen, you hear a movement in the plant life, probably about 20 feet away to the right-hand side. And you glance over, and there's a small girl in a blue and white check dress. She's got some dirt smeared on her face. She looks like she's been playing out here. She stands up, and the field, the wildflowers come almost up to her chest line. Had you kept moving and hadn't stopped to listen, you might have completely missed her entirely. And she just kind of tilts her head and looks at you.
Okay, so she sees me.
And she waves.
I wave back.
And she just stares at you.
So Lys's purpose in this is, because I assume I know this since I assume I kind of have a vague understanding of how kind of dreams work, just because of my experience with them. I'm doing the search for dream poison type of thing. So I'm looking to see how or if Butterfly is being influenced or kind of contacted by some fae thing.
Okay. Give me a a wits and empathy. Or wait, sorry, you're searching for dream poison. Wits, empathy, and weird.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing what's going on. If this looks. My weird is 2 now. Sweet. 0 successes now. Yeah.
Okay. You're not able to determine whether or not there might be a contagion here.
Okay. Hi.
Yes?
I was looking for Butterfly.
All right.
What
do you want?
Are you Butterfly?
She thinks for a minute. Yes. Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you. I'm going to approach and like sit if she's kind of, well, she's standing now, but crouched down, so I'm kind of near her eye level. I'm already pretty short, and
yep.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
I was just trying to make sure you're safe. This is very nice.
I made it myself.
It's pretty.
It feels safe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always feel safe.
No, yeah. Same. My friends don't feel safe right now. They like to make pointy things though, like sand castles that people can't get into.
Huh. Sand might be nice. I like sand.
It's nice. Do you want to try and change it to sand, or I can try and make it sand for you?
This is my dream.
Okay.
I might try sand later.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Resting, I guess you would say. It's nighttime, so sleep is important. And if I'm going to be up and doing things at all tomorrow, I guess I should, let myself recharge a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Do you mind if I keep watch for a while? I want to make sure something...
If you want to, I'm probably just going to enjoy the flowers and take my time.
Mm-hmm. I won't hover. I just want to make sure that nothing comes over the horizon.
Why would anything come over the horizon? This is my dream. I control all of this. Just like you do when you dream in yours.
Yeah.
Are you worried something's here that shouldn't be?
Yeah. I didn't see anything.
Well, you're free to have a look around, I guess, if you really want to. But I mean, I'm fine, Liz. I'm fine.
Okay.
It's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
I know things are confusing, but everything's gonna be okay as long as we can find the things that we need to.
Yeah. It's just my friends were worried when you were talking to people.
I know Adele gets worried. She's got a lot of tension. It's normal considering the experiences that she's gone through and the fact that she feels responsible, I think, for pretty much everybody in the room most of the time.
Yeah, she's like that.
We can talk here. We're on a more clear communication wavelength here than we are, so
yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the empathy, but you don't need to talk to me like I'm 5.
Okay.
It's confusing out there, and I'm sorry if I'm causing problems. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around everything, honestly, because it's very different than even the very faint memories I had that are apparently turning out to be somewhat inaccurate, given my, well, you know, what we've all been through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Okay, that's good.
But
I like you.
I like you a lot too. There's going to be a learning curve for me. And if you guys can be patient with me, that would be fantastic.
Yes. I will tell everyone. I'll make sure they know.
I can smell the secrets, and I know that they're there, but I can't really define them or explain them. I mean, not even here.
Where do you smell secrets?
There's something wrong in the heart of the city. And the threat that you guys are facing is going to ground. You're going to need to, and she kind of makes a motion like she's trying to get something verbalized that she can't quite wrap her brain around. Start with the reptiles. That's not quite what I'm trying to say. I don't know. This might take me a few days to work through.
That's okay.
If that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know it's weird. I ate a salty strawberry once.
How about some better ones? And she just kind of reaches down beneath and pulls out a rather nicely sized bowl of chilled strawberries with powdered sugar on them.
Yes, thank you. I will eat those.
Okay.
We'll share
So the rest of you are sitting in the front room, just watching Liz be asleep, pretty much.
I am trying to get to Adele a bit, but I almost feel like I'm missing something that everyone else just understands.
What you mean?
I'm going to start from
You're muted, Jeremy.
Sorry.
Sorry, I had to mute because people are in the room. Sorry. Nope, not just sitting in the living room.
Oh, okay.
Once sleep happened, she went up to she is going up to her room and is in the process of just writing things out in a notebook right now.
Okay.
Neofly probably went up to the roof to smoke. Actually, that's exactly what he did.
So,
I will ask
Nope.
Adele that at some point she find a place she's willing to stay for a bit so I can tend to the wounds. But this conversation.
Yes, she just upstairs. Her room is perfectly fine for that.
All right.
She just there is too much of her thoughts to organize to just sit there watching someone sleep.
Do you mind if I move around the room a bit, get things set up, or would
No, not at all. Be mindful. Well, you won't mind. Never mind.
Adele.
If there's anything,
there are no spiders in this room.
What the actual fuck?
I just came in. I didn't do any. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. You definitely went in first, Adele. And potentially the first thing you noticed was all of the picture frames are empty.
What the actual fuck?
I
So, Mira, this is sort of the reaction you walk into.
Is it something I can help with or something you'd like to deal with?
Somebody has been in my room and has completely destroyed any sense of it being my room.
Give me a moment.
You can give me a wits and investigation.
I don't care how mentally cracked that bitch is. I will smash her head into the ground until it is pulp.
I think we need to have a conversation with Neo, who is the one who's been explaining things to her about social boundaries.
Adele, do you lock this room?
Generally, yes, because she has actual equipment of value in here.
Right, yeah. This room was locked when you came up to it.
Okay.
Give me a wits or actually an intelligence and investigation for this one.
Yep.
Actually, I have a phone. I have a phone and I am a child of the 90s. I'll text Neo. Did Butterfly use Adele's room at all?
I'm spending fucking willpower. And you said intelligence investigation?
Intelligence investigation. Journalism does unfortunately not apply here.
Right. Oh, the fucking successes.
Okay.
For the audience, that's
With 8
successes.
fucking successes on 8 dice. Holy fucking shit.
Also a fair amount of critting. But, you know.
Yep. Yeah, no, like 3 10s. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's an exceptional success if ever I saw one.
This is how the dice sometimes work.
It's right, yeah. It's been a while since you've been in this room. You definitely know that A, you locked it when you left. B, you shut the window and locked that when you left. C, that is not your piece of a wire hanger laying on the floor underneath the window. D, all of those crow tracks definitely weren't here last time you were in this room. E, the window has been left about 3 inches open, and there's not a ton, but an obvious amount of bird shit on the window.
So I would like to edit my statement.
Okay.
2, nothing about cracked in the head, bitch. Instead, I don't care how much Liz likes that fucking bird. I am going to make food out of it.
You know I can help with that one much less. All right. Are you still comfortable with me looking at your injuries here? Because before you...
Oh, yes, because I'm going to go to war with a crow, and I need to be in my best physical condition.
The entire city's bird population.
No, just one.
Let me tell you a story as I dress your wound.
If it dies before it can get word out to the other ones, I don't have a problem.
Do I need to start looking up shotgun acquisition laws in Maryland?
No, hell no. We just go to the summer court and ask them.
I mean, no, we just do what any rational person who wants to buy a gun that they're going to use on a sentient person does. We use the internet because you can actually fucking do that.
Yep.
This is true.
Adele is rich enough to get gun printing equipment fairly easily at this point.
Besides, for a bird, for an intelligence crow, it's sniper rifle time.
Okay.
Season, baby.
Yeah, so Mira will explain Drummond's relationship to the rest of the city's avian population, and also that as much as this is a really bad thing and we should do something about it, he did help us get Liz back. And that's important too.
With 8 successes, you can also tell that this happened a while ago. This was not a recent thing.
Okay. Doesn't
not that
matter.
that is not intended
Doesn't
to
even
change
a
her
little
reaction
matter.
an iota. But
Extra information.
Uh-huh.
The bird shit's been dry for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have tipped.
Also, do you know how long I've been waiting for you to walk into your fucking room at your goddamn crack house?
That is a changeling out of context quote.
Yes.
100%.
We have tipped so far past the level of appropriate retribution when the fucking thing wasn't even hurt.
I understand. I just wonder if there are things that, and I know this is uncomfortable and this is important, might take some level of priority, like that death investigation that, as I understand, we were involved in before I joined the Motley. And the currently sleeping, possibly attacking someone in dreams, seems member of our Motley downstairs.
Oh, I didn't say I was going to go find Drummond and do it this instant.
All right. That's great. That's really all I wanted out of this.
I'm not leaving right now because I don't have the tools that I need.
You also have a bullet wound, which would make it harder for you.
Harder. Not impossible. But no, I am
You know
not
how
doing...
quickly I can fix a bullet wound, Adele.
I'm not doing it at the moment. Work your magic. It's fine.
Adele has a vampire in Seattle that's a Malkavian in prison that she needs to call.
Oh my god. Naomi would actually move cities to murder a bird for a changeling. That's really in character.
I mean, that bird may be quick, but if you fire enough grenades out of your launcher, eventually one of them's gonna hit it.
Let us also consider the possibility of
All right.
observation by the mundane population as we plan.
I'm
And
using a metaphor. I don't actually own a grenade launcher, nor would I use one to kill a bird with.
I do like the idea of just going just cause on a bird, though.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
I'm sure you can do that in Just Cause. It seems like the kind of game that would let you not only aim a grenade launcher at the bird, but then tether the bird and the grenade to be sure they hit.
Oh, yeah.
Why use a grenade launcher when a chain gun is much more accurate?
Okay.
Like...
But I did want to ask you something else.
Yes.
I understand I might be very social, but I'm not exactly clever, and I certainly don't have a literary background.
Right.
To what extent my understanding from a social perspective is that the modus operandi for new people of our kind when recovering, coming over to this side, entering a city, is to join the freehold to protect both the freehold itself and each other. My understanding was, to some extent, and I don't think this is a bad thing, and I'm not complaining about unjust treatment necessarily, but the sharing of more private information is left to essentially motley, those that are to some extent bound by contracts not
Right.
to hurt us or each other.
Right.
Am I missing some reason that doesn't apply to Butterfly? I know that immediately we had other issues, but shouldn't that be our next step, is making sure this
Binding her
person...
in?
I realize, or I guess that is the risk. It's just...
We're in a rare situation here. And one that potentially, if possible, we could turn to our, if careful, we could turn to our advantage. There is no way in hell I would slit my own throat more than it has ever been than give an approval to her joining the motley at this time.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't trust her. I don't think that, I think there's very little that can, we'll see. But at this point, there is certainly a lack of trust. However, if what I suspect is true, that there is some sort of a connection to some kind of threat to us, providing some, though certainly not all information, as long as we know that we are doing it, has value.
It simply seems to me that the risk of having someone who is bound to nothing is widely understood, and while I absolutely agree she shouldn't join the motley, I don't even necessarily know if having her join the Freehold is actually what we should do in this situation. Having her completely unbound to us presents its own dangers. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that should be
I don't know how busy you were, and I won't pry. I was thinking about that message Neo sent us. Don't trust those that aren't part of the Freehold.
I don't trust those who are part of the Freehold.
I don't disagree. But it made me think, who isn't? Well, the mortals in general.
I mean, to be honest, I don't trust whoever's sending that message.
That is also...
We get random messages.
Understand why I was
delivered
thinking
to
about
us.
this. And actually, can I make like a social or political role for what it means that we are totally abetting a not part of the Freehold person if we aren't currently in the word that means bringing in,
Right.
and starts with an in.
You're
Jack,
muted, Jack.
You're muted.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me an intelligence and politics. You can spend willpower if you want.
Oh yeah, I'm spending willpower because I feel like this is the kind of thing Mira cares about. And also, so is one die just a flat roll, or is one die a chance die?
If you still have a die, then it's a flat roll.
Okay.
Right. It's only if you get reduced to 0 or less dice that you make a chance.
Yeah, because it's -3 for it being politics, and it's +3 for me spending a willpower. meaning
Mhm. Yeah.
Which I do not succeed.
Okay. The one thing that sort of crops up to you, Mira, is DJ Utzel is not the ruling queen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're definitely not breaking any contracts or pledges, or you're definitely not breaking any pledges that way.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, yeah, your interactions with people outside the keyhold are at your own discretion.
Yeah. And I was honestly brought in fairly quickly, if I remember right.
Yes, you were. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. No, you had gotten out of Arcadia for about a week before you made your keyhold pledge.
So for someone who's not on the keyhold track, what is the other track? I don't know.
Right. Well, and from your experience, sure, you haven't done nobody's done anything official with Butterfly, but there's no reason to assume, other than, the normal, can we trust this person sort of shit, that she wouldn't be, it's not, there's not a huge application process. Basically, if the king or queen, if the ruling monarch will accept your pledge, hey, guess what? You're qualified to be a member of this keyhold.
Yeah. Okay. I have voiced my concerns to the other social member of the party who cares.
How about you make an intelligence and medicine roll then?
Yep.
See how well the patch up is going.
This I am significantly better at.
Yep, and I think you get 9 again on these, right?
Oh yeah, I get 9 again.
Peregrine.
Also, if we take an hour, I can be at the hospital.
Yep.
And being a hospital at your bullet wound with 6 successes.
Nice. So that is, I believe, 3 lethal downgraded to Bastion.
Okay. Hold on. Well, I only have 3, so perfect.
Yep.
And the bashing will fix itself.
Yeah.
And the bashing will fix itself in about an hour.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't trust, but I don't trust Mira, I don't trust anybody outside of those directly bound by this motley, and barely us, including myself. So probably Butterfly slightly less than your average keyhold member, but more so than, say, I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Our current president.
Oh, he's just... Adele totally trusts him to destroy everything.
All right. So the discussion being had by Adele and Mira, is there any other business that any members of the Motley need to accomplish before the next morning?
Probably.
I would like to, if I can, go back to the tunnel I was in, because I'm low on glamour.
Well, actually, scouring the dream to determine whether or not there's a contagion present literally takes all night.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anytime you're trying to determine whether a dream's a contagion dream or not, it takes up an entire night.
Okay, Cool.
Yep.
Never mind then. It
Yep.
takes the entire time. They're strawberries. They're delicious.
Yes, they are.
Neo's just gonna double check to make sure he hasn't gotten any updates from Sunset Blue or anybody else that he has current dealings with.
Not currently, no. Yeah, you've managed to get by without having anybody calling in any markers yet. So those seem to be marginally handled, at least for the current status. Phage, was there anything for you?
I don't think so, because the conversation I was going to have was had with Adele. So
Okay. All right. So an evening passes. Everybody gets sleep if they're trying, and those who do get their full night wake up with a dot of willpower or a point of willpower back.
Good. It would be good to have one.
Mm-hmm. And the morning arises. Mira, you wake up. Weather seems to be a little on the fouler side. Overcast, windy, bit of drizzle. Definitely colder temperatures. Liz, you wake up big spooning butterfly.
Yep.
And the rest of you arise at whatever location you slept in. I assume Adele is in her currently spiderless room still.
Phage is probably like in a chair or a couch near where Liz.
There are chairs and couches. You guys have managed bedding here, and there's always the hollow if anybody needs it.
Yeah, near where Liz and Butterfly were sleeping.
Okay.
I will gently extricate myself. I don't want to wake her up.
See you finally up.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the waking world.
Yeah.
I figured she would be.
It was nice. It was a field.
Good dream then.
She's okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Learn anything useful?
She's confused and scared. It's like us.
Yeah.
First came out.
Yeah, like a lot of people are.
Mm-hmm.
I thought might be the case.
When Neo wakes up, he's just gonna immediately just leave and go for a jog.
Okay.
It's not going to alleviate Adele's fears, but I don't think anything will at that point.
No. I'm gonna try and call Nero.
If you can reach him, go for it.
I'm gonna take the phone that I have not given back to Lark.
Nope.
We'll attempt to call the number.
Lark is in the kitchen making breakfast.
Yeah, I'll give her back after this.
That smells delicious. I'm gonna go get some of that.
Sit in the chair, dial a phone number.
So pop up the contact, hit dial, so pause, and you hold it to your ear. The number you are attempting to reach is out of service. Please hang up and try again.
Close the phone. And I'm gonna attempt again because I've done this once, but that didn't get me anything. Figure out more about what the keys mean because I have several random theories, but I'm gonna first kind of like try and think it through. Current ones are it's key. We are a keyhole spelled differently, but same. They're homonyms. Also, Butterfly has said now that she was she told the person she was talking to that she didn't have a key. So I'm not sure if the Changeling are supposed to be keys and the ones that don't work are being broken. That's another theory I have. Or
Okay.
yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
Trying to figure out what
give me an intelligence and occult -2.
Okay.
because you're literally just kind of sitting there and just using your brain.
Yeah. Where do you go to find occult knowledge? I don't know. One success.
Well, you definitely remember where to go to find occult knowledge. You were literally told, he's the witch, he's the scrivener.
Yep. This is true.
In terms of interpretation of the symbolism, if you start just thinking, okay, what if I don't try and dig too deep into it? What I just take it at face value. These are keys that have been broken.
Yep.
Broken means it doesn't work anymore. So you can't use the key to unlock whatever you would use it for. So you can't open the door anymore. It's on our door. Are they trying? Okay, key on door. Maybe the door and the key are connected. Maybe it's just they wanted us to see it before so it was placed somewhere. That's about as much as you can come up with.
Okay. All right. And trying to. I'm gonna try and use Panamancy then. This time, because I know the nail is with Nero. Let's see. Nero is somewhere. We have to find Nero. Or I could try and look at the key. I've already tried to look at the key once. I'm going to try and use Panamancy and see if I can find where Nero is. I am convinced he is alive because she's clinging to that. It's going to be... There's only 2 keys broken. There were 3 people missing. So he was the most recent one.
All right. So you sit up and you get ready to do your Panamancy. You catch a little bit of motion as Butterfly comes in, reaches out, puts her hand on top of your head, and just kind of leans over and touches her forehead to yours. And then goes over and finds whatever food Lark is making to eat. What are you using for your light source for Panamancy?
Well, I'm in the living room. If I have to turn on the living room like overhead light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you could use that. You could stick your head out and see if you can catch a glimpse of sun through the cloud. You could use the LED on the phone, whatever. So, yeah.
I want to use whatever's brightest. If there's a lamp like nearby, those are pretty bright if you take the shade off.
Yeah. Yeah. So you tilt the shade back. Find the little, it's one of those cords that has the little rotating wheel switch like halfway down, right? Click. Stare at the light bulb for a minute. Close your eyes, turn away, roll me a wits and composure.
Okay. Almost. Two successes.
So you blink and you blink. And there's a rectangular kind of shape with a little bit of a bend to it that you're looking at. You're like, and you hold up your phone that you still have in your hand, Lark's phone. They almost match. And then it occurs to you one place that a phone will never work. And that's where we're going to close for tonight.
Okay.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.